All right, three, two, one. Here we go. And welcome to another episode of the Gonzo Experience. I am David Gonzo Mamano here with another great episode helping you be the best entrepreneur that you can be and bring your game always to the next level. New episode every Wednesday morning. Thanks for listening and or watching. Today I have on the show a great guest. I met him on Facebook and LinkedIn. His energy just pierced through and we became very, very as close as friends as you can without ever meeting. Randy Chaffee, welcome to the Gonzo Experience.
David, my friend, it's great to be here. Thank you. And you're right. And we don't, we have a bro date at a little restaurant in just outside of where you live, I think.
Yeah. So I talked about that. I live in Victor, and you said, "Oh, Victor, New York," and you said I pass through there sometimes, and yep. And have lunch at Luca Pizza, which is about a mile away from my house and literally right down the street. So next time you're passing through Victor, New York, Randy, we will meet there for lunch.
That is a done deal.
And I will buy. How's that sound?
That's even better. Could we shorten this up and I'll be on a plane soon?
Yeah. Just hit the road, right? Because you're originally from the Northeast. Is that correct?
I'm from Michigan.
Oh, Michigan.
Originally.
Okay.
Yeah. It's still part of my territory, and we still live there in the summer months, but I've become a lover of the deep South, so we're in Southern Florida most of the time.
You're in Naples, right?
That's right, correct.
Yeah, beautiful. So right here in Rochester, New York, it's March 3rd, and we have snow on the ground, and it's in the 20s today. How about you?
Oh, it is. I was just outside working. I work outside. I'm in my office right now, but I work outside on the lanai most of the time. It's 79, feels like 81, bright sun.
And it's 10:20 in the morning.
It's 10,
79 degrees already.
That's right. That's right. Sooner or later, it'll warm up where I can actually be outside longer.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah, I hope. Poor kid. Right. Geez.
I know. It's tough. It's tough.
So Randy, I have you on the show because, like I said, your energy has been wonderful as far as your, being a road warrior entrepreneur. Your Facebook page proudly states that you've been doing this for 4 decades. So 40 plus years, road warrior, entrepreneur. Let's hear the journey. What are you doing? Well, let's start from the beginning. What were you doing 40 years ago that got you into this great momentum of success and positivity in business? Give us the journey, any highs and lows you want to share, and let's get into some of the secrets of your success today and what you're doing today.
Sure. Well, it's funny you mentioned the 4+ decades, and I do that, David, because I still have a little bit of vanity to where if I put 50 years, which I could technically put, just that, because I did start in this world in a sort of way at 16, and so you can do the math. I'm not going to say the age because I still don't like it, but anyway, but at 16, I was out on a job site with my dad in a business he had, helping build pole barns, post frame buildings, grain bins, those sort of things in the ag community. Picking up, but mostly I was doing nothing other than a gopher guy, right? Just picking up screws and, hey kid, bring some 2x4s over here, right? And that kind of thing. So technically I could, I guess, claim that, but at 18, I really went to work with my dad in the construction business, and I figured out real fast that I think I like selling this stuff better than the 40 below zero or the 110, temperatures. And so that's how I kind of got started with the 4+ decade thing. But as a quick story, David, where I got whatever I have, which I don't know if I have much, but whatever I have as far as an enthusiasm and a love for the game of sales, started with my dad, going back to him when I was a little kid, and grew up on a little farm in mid-Michigan, 165 acres, few beef, few dairy cows, some pigs, some sheep, the whole thing, chickens, but mostly cash crop. And I remember he sold seed corn. That was the first thing he did. And I remember the time that he says, after dinner, I still remember the evening, I was probably about 8, 9 years old. And he said, hurry up with dinner because we're going to go and then come outside. I said, okay. So I finish up and I go outside, and he goes, go in the garage and grab a couple hose. I said, okay, I'm going to do something with Dad's always good. Short in the story, we wandered past my grandpa's house because it's typical farm country, right? We lived across the road from each other, and went out into the field and started hoeing the rows of soybeans. And my first question was, why are we doing this? Because you have a cultivator. I mean, we drive a tractor. Why are we doing this? Well, it's because he said, if you're going to do it, you do it right. We take pride in what we do, and weeds grow between the beans that you can't get with the cultivator. And so that's what we do. We make our field look nice. Whatever weed takes a little bit away from one of the bean stalks, right? I'm going, okay, that's fine. That makes sense, I guess, to my little 9-year-old mind, right? But the story where I learned the first lesson in sales was we had a dinner bell. And I don't know if anybody knows what a dinner bell is, but on the farm, it's a bell that's out on a pole, ding, ding, ding. It tells you to come to supper or dinner or lunch or whatever the case was. And so my mom is ringing it. So my dad and I head back, walk up, and what's going on? She says, well, Walter, rain's coming, storm's coming. Walter needs some seed. He's trying to finish up. And he goes, okay, come on, Rand, let's go. And so we went out and loaded up some bags and got in the truck. And I go to Dad, I said, I don't understand something. We're trying to get some of this work done before it rains also. So why are we stopping everything? And he says, it's simple, son. He said, Walt trusted us, had confidence in us, and gave us the business, and we owe that to him. And okay, that was it. But obviously, many, many, many years later, that's still in my head, is that customer could have went to somebody else to buy seed from, but he bought from my dad. So my dad owes him anything and everything he can possibly do. So that's where my whole start was on the farm. Started in sales, like I said, at about 18. I'm been doing it for so that's about 48 years. I've been in the world of sales. Been a road warrior. I use the hashtag Road Warrior Randy a lot of things because that really is what I do. I mean, that's been my gig for a long time. And God, just nothing better than traveling the roads. I don't mind airports. I don't mind flights. I don't mind hotels. I don't mind dinner and brewskis with the boys in the evening. So that's something that I did pretty well nonstop except for about an 8-year period. I was a purchasing agent in this industry. The beautiful thing about that was I had a love relationship with that. It was in my industry. I quickly found that I like being in the help people get what they want or need, little Zig Ziglarism there, right? But of actually working with customers and being in front of customers. I didn't get to control that as much in the purchasing world. So I left that and went back. But the good news is that I figured out real well, David, what the buyers wanted, what they needed, what was important to them. And so I think it kind of helped put me in a unique position to work with a lot of these buyers that I deal with today, because I've sat in a chair. I've looked at the reports. It might be different today, but the concept's the same, right? So that's the start. And I did that like that, David, for, like I said, outside of that little brief 7-8 years that I was in purchasing, and all that wasn't in purchasing. I was actually in sales at this lumber chain at the start. So it's probably only 5 years actually out of the world of sales. I've been just banging roads and shaking hands and kissing babies, as they say. And the funny thing is, I have people ask me, because I don't feel old, but I'm not young. And when are you going to stop doing this? And I said, that's not even the vocabulary. There's no, I don't know, David, maybe another 4 or 5 years. No, I have nothing in the works. I want to be that. My wife will say I'm already got the crotchety part, but I want to be that crotchety, super gray-haired, wrinkly old guy that comes walking into some trade show and they go, "Is this guy not dead yet?" I mean, he's been here for. I mean, he was here before we had computers or cell phones. I mean, when is he going away?
Right, right.
That's the goal.
That is funny. I was going to ask you, because what you just said, we basically can estimate your age, and which listen, you're still young in many ways, and obviously mentally, physically, mindset. I've seen you travel when you post some of your travels on social media, and it seems like you have the energy and the mindset of a 28-year-old. Go, probably more, right? Like you are an old school road warrior, like you said. And so, one could say, I was going to ask you, like, well, are you thinking about, I'm sure you have enough money, you probably retire soon. But I understand the answer, because I'm the same way. I mean, I'm 52, and I joke that, when I turn 75, I might start to go half days, right? And then I'd follow it up with
Right.
saying, 12 hours a day, right? That's half days, right?
Right. Exactly. Perfect. Exactly. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. When and the funny thing, and I'm sure we'll talk about it, but with all of the technologies of today, it I can do more today than I did 10, 15 years ago. And so that all that does is elongates, if that's the word I want to use, my ability to continue doing what I'm doing. So there's no confusion, because now I'm getting real worried that people aren't doing math. Math is not taught well in school. So I'm 66. I just turned. I didn't want people to think I'm 73 or something, because that does sound old.
Well, happy birthday.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, it was last week. Not last week. Valentine's Day. See, I'm a natural born lover.
That's right. That's right. I love it.
I like. It's not as bad as being born on Christmas, but still, it's
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
you're
happy birthday and happy Valentine's Day not too
Oh,
long
thank
ago.
you.
So, no, that's great. So how is sales, so I'm just going to, continue to call you the road warrior sales guy. And how has sales changed over the years? I mean, and I'll also say, and how has it stayed the same?
Well, let me do the stay the same first, because it's still people serving people, right? It's still that, and that doesn't change whether you're doing it face to face or whether you're doing it like we're doing here. If this was it is a Zoom call, but if we were in Zoom meetings, I didn't know 2 years ago or 3 years ago what Zoom meant. I thought it might go fast, I guess, but I didn't really, nobody knew what that stuff was really.
Mm.
Nobody used that, but I think that, and especially in my industry, is different than maybe others. I can't speak for everybody, but in the building components industry, we are very much a face-to-face, person-to-person relationship building. I used to talk a lot about. We've all talked about, it's not my thing, but the triangle or the triad, right? The quality, service, price. And I always like to say it that way, because too many people go price, quality, service, because that's the easy way to say it. But I've always believed that it's quality, service, and then price. But I've opened that triangle up in my mind, and I believe it's a box now. We think out of the box, so we start outside of that box, but the fourth corner of that box is relationships. And I think when we do quality, price, service, we might lump service into that relationship part, but I think it's important enough that it needs its own corner, if that makes sense. And so, I've always been a relationship guy. I never lead, probably ever. I don't think. Maybe I did when I was young and dumb and early, but I never lead with, "Hey, I'm Randy with whatever, and I'm here to sell you some screws." That's they don't could care less about buying that from me until we figure out whether we have a relationship and whether they trust me and whether they believe what I'm going to tell them. Am I going to come back when I say I'm going to come back? Am I going to send them an email with a quote, or am I not? You got to earn those stripes, right? And you the so from that standpoint, the relationship part of it hasn't changed. The thing that's changed is, and especially in the last 2 years, and I guess you look for silver linings with things. Nobody wanted this whole COVID thing. Nobody wanted the pandemic. We can call it anything we want to call it. Nobody wanted any of that. Nobody really expected it, but all of a sudden there it was. The good thing that came out of it, for me anyways, and I think for a lot of folks, is I think that I went 10 years in 2 years with my abilities to do more full force multipliers, more stuff like we're doing today. And as you know, I have my my own podcast that you're going to be on tomorrow with me, folks.
Yep.
I would have never done that. Number one, rolling back 2 years, I'd have still just got on the plane Monday morning at 6 a.m. and got back Saturday sometime, and then go do it again next week. So, and technology also is allowed to do a lot of things like video text. Instead of just sending an email with a quote, I like to hold the email or hold the quote up and show it to somebody as I'm talking to them on an email or on a video, right? And say, here's line 7 and line 12 are the two biggest things that you're most interested in, but I went ahead and quoted some other items, yada, 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 right? And all that does is, what I found with people that I met, new customers during the pandemic world that I finally went and met in person. It was like they recognized me when I got out of the car. Hey, Randy, it was like, it's not as good as if I could have been there 12 times, but it's the next best thing, right? And so I think the thing that I've learned is to hybrid my approach. And that's something I use on my moniker for my podcast is I use Randy 3.0 hybrid amazing because I'm Randy. That's easy. And I started out last year at 2.5. I just use 3.0 because it's New Year, so I hope I'm better. But hybriding old versus the new and trying to find ways to be in front of and with and take care of people, more people quicker, and more personally, even when you can't be there. So that's probably the biggest change that I've seen in the last 10 years, but especially the last 2 years, I should say, but it hasn't changed back to what I said, the relationship part, as you mentioned early on at the intro, we've got to know each other and become good friends, and we still haven't shook hands, bro hugged, and had a pizza and a beer yet. We will, but we haven't. And it's going to be like when we do, April or May, I think, when we do, it's going to be like we're long lost buddies that just hadn't seen each other for a year or so.
Yeah, no, I can see it, and I look forward to it. And yeah, it's true. I have 10 times my relationships probably around the world in the past 2 years because of just, it's so much easier and more accepted to just hop on Zoom and have a quick call, right? Have a quick meetup. I just started this business community called utopianetwork.com. And the whole idea is to bring together heart-centered entrepreneurs to create meaningful connections so we can truly help each other, have weekly classes, masterminds, and it's all over the world. I already have 20 members from 4 different countries, and we have a brother sisterhood of we're doing this group hug on Zoom, and that never would have happened. My networking club before this was all Rochester. We had, it was about 100 people here in Rochester, New York, and it was in person once a month. And now I've said, all right, well, listen, the new world with Zoom and online being more acceptable, I'm going global. So I have a member from Dubai, I have a member from Spain, I have members from Canada, and of course the US, and I love it. And I've got friends all around the world now. So, despite all the new technology that has infiltrated our lives the past, 2, 5, 10 plus years, I agree with you. There's nothing like a good old fashioned, authentic, sincere relationship. Knowing that, if I was passing through Naples, I need a place to stay. Like you said, we never met. I have a feeling I'd call you. Hey, Randy, you know what? The hotels are full. You got a couch for me? I bet you would say yes.
Absolutely.
And I would do the same thing for you here in Victor, New York. And that's the beauty. I think that's the beauty of, like people are talking about the new normal. And I agree. I'm like, there will be, I think, some aspects of the new hybrid world where, like we're talking about Zoom, et cetera, is going to be a little bit more acceptable. But I think as the dust settles, we are humans that need people, and good old fashioned belly to belly contact, right? And that's going to come back strong. And so I think it's going to be that and online, right? And not either or, right? So, but I agree with you. There's nothing like the good old fashioned, like, I'm doing business with this person because I know that when I need something, they will be there for me. Like you and your dad were there with the seeds for that guy, right? And that's why he did business with you, because, I've talked about my insurance agent, which is kind of funny. Who loves their insurance agent? Well, I do, right? His name is Lino Reale, and he has a State Farm branch, but I hardly think about State Farm. I think about Lino. He's my guy. Mm-hmm. And, so I could go with Geico and save money or whatever. But I know that when I get in a fender bender or my car breaks down and I need something, I can call Lino directly on his cell phone, and he will pick up and he will take care of me. He will tell me what to do. He will tell me, how to make insurance pay for the tow truck to come over right away, where to take it, how to get me a loaner paid for. And so therefore, I don't care if Lino costs a little bit more. I will do business with Lino because he is there for me in the vast, crazy, wild world of insurance, right? So, so even in insurance, you can still win by having a trusted relationship.
Yep. Exactly. And I think the key word you just hit is, I couldn't agree more, that trusted relationship. And you can build some of that online, which we had to for a period of time. But a mistake I think we make, now that we can be back out pretty regular, I've just traveled like I normally do anymore. But if you don't augment that with going and still spending some time with them, face to face, not like walking in at 7:30 in the morning with a box of donuts, and the guys, you think you just brought them like $1,000 worth of gold each, right? It's little things like that, or pizza at lunch, or things like that I do a lot of. You still got to go back to that, and that's my hybrid approach to that. Is I'll Zoom with you, and I'll send you a quick video and say, hey, just was thinking about you. I'm sitting here at the bar having a glass of a Cabernet, and I know you like Cab. Cheers, right? Hold the glass up. Little things like that to stay in communication with my customer friends, right? But you've got to just, nothing like you said, walk in the door and they jump up and come from around the desk and give you a big bro hug, and you're buds, right? And that's, like you said, the insurance agent. That's why people buy. And I figured, I don't know. I guess I was slightly smarter than I thought I was at the time, because I didn't realize this made any sense. But my website that I use, I have several that go to the same website for work, for my rep agency. But the one that I always promote and everybody sees, because it's a little unique, is ibuyfromrandy.com. Why? Because you should buy from Randy.
Yeah.
Right. .com. Right.
Yep.
And so my point of all that is, it reminds me daily. It's almost better for me. It's easy to remember, and everybody thinks it's kind of cutesy and neat and all that, but it reminds me that they are buying from Randy. Like you said, you're not buying from State Farm. I rep some amazing companies, and I don't want to downplay at all the brilliant product, service, everything that they do. But the very first thing that this customer is going to buy is Randy, right? That's first.
Yeah.
And then we'll go from there. Because like you said, you could go to Geico, you could go to Allstate, you could go to a million of them, right? But you go to your guy because he's your guy. And I think that's the goal that we ought to, if we need to consciously and subconsciously remember that should be our goal if we're going to be in sales. Is I just want to be your guy. I want to be your guy. You call me first, always. And I don't know how many times I've found competitors and found a product for somebody because I don't have it, but I'm going to find it for you. Right? Because I want to be your guy. I want to be that first phone call.
Yep. Yeah. Good idea with the ibuyfromrandy.com. I got to see if they have ibuyfromdavid.com,
I think you should get that. It'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if they don't, they'll probably have I buy from Gonzo.
Yeah. I buy from Gonzo. That's a good idea. Yeah. I bet nobody has that, right?
I'm guessing no.
That is awesome. Well, and I think too, if you, whatever company you repped, your trusted customers are going to follow you, right? Like if Lino went to Allstate tomorrow, I'm going to go to Lino. I'll be an Allstate customer then. I don't care. I'm a customer of Lino, right? So that's the bottom line. This is, I got to tell you, Randy, I know that, you have your own business, Source One Marketing, which is the rep firm. You have your own podcast, which I'm going to be on tomorrow, Building Wins Live. But I got to tell you, all these sales trainers out there, they got nothing on you, man. I think your next business is that, you are going to be the John Maxwell of sales and make it happen. I mean, you're with your energy and your experience and your skills and knowledge and I think ability to transfer your skills and enthusiasm to other people. I think there's the next brand out there is, you're the next Zig Ziglar. How's that sound of sales? So there we go.
Well, geez, I'll tell you what, that's some major shoes there. I chatted via one of the messengers. I can't remember which it was, with Zig's son, Tom, the other day, or it's been a month ago or so. Just wanted to tell him how much I appreciated the time that I saw Zig in Pontiac, Michigan, at the old Silver Dome before it got tore down, where the Lions used to play. And his sister was there. His Tom's sister, her name escapes me right now, but with Zig, and it was towards the end. He was having a little vertigo problems and a few things, but that's the first time I saw him live. I'd read all his books, listened to all his. I'm going to go way back and age myself. His tapes,
Mhm.
his cassettes, and then his CDs, and all those things that nobody knows what those are. And if you're under
Yeah.
30, right? But
Yeah.
and but I got to tell you, we paid the extra. It was like 5 rows, and when he did that little kind of down to his knee, and I'll see you at the top, and
Mhm.
pointed, I was like, that was worth 10 times the price of admission, right?
Yeah. He probably pointed right at you.
Yeah, I think he did. At least I'm assuming he did.
That's how you took it. That's how you
That's what I
took it.
took it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But no, it's a fun gig, and I'll tell you, I didn't. People ask sometimes, and I know it's interesting. How did you get into what you did? Most people probably whatever they're doing today wasn't like at 18. I'm gonna the Randy at 18. I didn't necessarily go, I'm gonna still be doing this when I'm 66 years old, right?
Yeah.
You stumble into things typically,
Mhm.
but if you put yourself into opportunities and you're open to opportunities, that's what I've always found is too many people. As soon as there's an opportunity, they are come up with all these reasons why I can't.
Yeah.
Well, I say, why don't you change that to a question and go, why can't I?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
Because so many guys, I've said at sales meetings in the past, and manufacturers will have this new product that they want to introduce. And the good ones nowadays that I've been blessed to be with usually will ask us guys first, here's what we're thinking. I mean, the industry, the field, your customer. Do you think we could sell this crazy
Mhm.
thing if we come up with it? But there's been times where they just present it and go, hey, we want you guys to sell this. And I know some guys they're sitting there going, this ain't ever going to work.
Yeah.
They're never going to sell this. This is foolish. And I remember one time a guy that will always forever remain nameless, but says, what are you doing? I'm writing my pad. I'm writing down the first 10 people I'm going to call. Because if they're investing that money, that energy, that the time to bring this product, one, I owe them my effort to try to move it for them. And hey, I'm a shameless commission guy. I don't mind making money. I love making friends and influencing people. Well, Carnegie there, but at the end of the day, I still like to make money.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
and like your insurance guy, if he brings you new products, he's being of more value to you as a rep agency. If I can bring you as a building supply customer another product that you can get from me, it's a win-win, right? Because I win because I get to make some money,
Yep.
and you win because you get to make some money off the product I bring you, and you can deal with me. And if I stand behind my ibuyfromrandy.com theory, I may not always have the best product, the best price, the best service, the best anything, but you will get the best relationship. That I guarantee. That's the only thing I'm going to guarantee. Because everything else I can't always control, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's great. We have we invented a saying at my Utopia network because we're all like entrepreneurs that are we're all loving on each other. We want to help each other. But at the same time, we want to make money too. Right. And so we were joking. It's kind of like Woodstock meets business. So then we started saying, peace, love, and profits, baby. So
I love it. Love it. That's awesome.
So, Randy, this has been super fantastic. Buildingwins.live is your podcast, which I'm going to be on tomorrow. Very excited.
Yep.
And if people want to get in touch with you, learn more, and just maybe pick your brain to become a better salesperson, become a better human, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Well, they can always get in touch with me via ibuyfromrandy.com, or they can follow me. I'm real simple. It's just Randy Chaffee, just my name on everywhere on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, a little bit. I don't do a lot on YouTube, but I should. Instagram, I love to talk to people, and I love conversations, and I love chatting because, I don't know, maybe if I have a little something to offer, that's great, but I always get way more back typically. So.
Excellent. Randy Chaffee, thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing some heartbeats with us today and wishing you continued massive success.
David, thank you, my friend. It was very enjoyable. Had been looking forward to it, and it was a pleasure, my friend.
Absolutely. Thanks again, Randy. And I want to thank the Gonzo family for listening to the Gonzo Experience today. Appreciate you. Get in touch with anything that you need. I am here for you, David at davidmamano.com. Thank you so much, everybody, again, and make sure to stay awesome.